Okay, so good afternoon to all of you and welcome to the Oliveboard platform. जैसे कि आप लोग को पता है, Tuesday what we do is at 1 p.m. we practice biology previous year questions. Also, from next week we are starting a special series for your tier 2. Do not miss that one as well. For that, consider subscribing to the channel. Let us get started with our today's session, which is going to be biology previous year questions. Okay, so I hope I'm visible, audible, all good. We can start with the session. These sessions are 1 p.m. on Tuesday, and on Wednesday what we do is chemistry previous year question at 1 p.m. Okay, and on the Friday, Saturday and Sunday, these 3 days, we are doing the NCERT series. So do not miss that as well. Let us begin with our today's session. As soon as I get the answer of the first question, we will be ready to move on to the next question. Okay, I shall give you a few seconds and then I'll move to the next question. All right, let us begin with the first question. Which of the following crop enrich the soil with nitrogen? Nitrogen enrichment is required, or for nitrogen urea is added artificially, but some plants do not require any addition of urea because they already have it in it, right? They can produce or they can absorb it directly from the soil. They are, for example, the legumes, the dals, the pulses that we eat. All of these, you will see that the roots will have some nodules. We call them as root nodules, and they are the necessary, say, organs for this particular plant to absorb the nitrogen from the soil. So now, having given you this information, can you give the answer whether they are potato, whether they are sorghum, sunflower or pea? Which is the correct answer? Hello, Ramesh. Okay, so please give the correct answer and then we will move to the next question. If I am saying that they have to be the leguminous plants and most of the time they will have the nodules in their roots, if you will pluck them out, then you can see clearly that okay, these are the responsible portion of the plant which is doing this nitrogen absorption from the soil. All right, since I do not see. Okay, so the correct answer to this question will be, in this case, it will be option number D, which is your P. If P is not there, then any other pulses, if you see the pulses like dal, etc., then that is also the correct answer. And this one also you can use it in the dried form. So that is a hint that you will be able to remember. You soak it in the water and then you can have the dried peas also. That is also another way how it is consumed. Okay. Next is, the source of lead in urban atmosphere is. Now for this we have to know what are the sources of lead. This looks like a very easy question, but you have to know that currently what is in news to be able to answer it correctly. Bursting of cracker in festive season, is it yes or no? Yes, because there was an article from Science Direct. I'll show you what they have listed. So it is there. Road traffic, it is also responsible for the lead in urban atmosphere. Then the car exhaust, or say because of the car fumes, but they have said traffic. They have not said vehicle. So this is the difference in this particular case. If you, because only one we can select, so probably we will still stick to one, but let's see more. Construction work, it will give smoke. It is also a pollutant. It will give smoke, it will give ash. Then there will be the asbestos, which are very dangerous for the lungs and the body. So that is also pollutant, but is it the most important source of lead? Or the small scale industries? which will be the correct one. If we actually look into this, then small scale in we can only select one. Otherwise, 1, A and B both we would have selected. But we can only select one. So this one we can eliminate. Small scale industries, say micro, small, medium enterprises, MSME, they are not in the limelight for doing lead pollution, right? So we will remove this, though industries otherwise are, say, pollution creating most of the time. So having removed this, we are still left with A and B, and both of them are correct if an option is given, because more number of cars, more number of road traffic. So both of these are correct answer. Now see how this easy looking question actually has both as the correct answer, but we have to select one. So the regular option is what we are going to go for, that is the road traffic. The batteries are also very, say, dangerous in case of the lead pollution. Now let us see the sources which were listed in the Science Direct article. Coal combustion, that is, say, a major source, especially in case of industrialization, and this one will definitely release the lead. Industrial processes like mining, smelting, battery manufacturing, and metal processing, this will also contribute. Vehicle related dust, this is the one which we have selected, they also have lead particles. Then there is the waste, for example, if we are burning the electronic waste, or if we are burning the kind of waste which can, say, tires, then in this case there can be the lead pollution. In case of construction also it is there, yes, in case of demolition of buildings, but otherwise in case of construction, say, ash, and we can select only one, so that is why we did not select it. And firecrackers, yes, that is also there, but for one, and most important, we have selected the road traffic. Okay, so this is how you see an easy looking question can also be wrong if we don't look at it very closely. Next question. The product lead present in the atmosphere may cause. So what can this lead actually cause to our body? Say, for example, particulate matter 2.5 and less than that, if we inhale, it can go inside the lung directly and it can cause the damage to the lungs. Okay. So it can cause respiratory diseases, it can cause asthmatic, asthma and such kind of diseases. But here, this is for PM 2.5, which is the case of Delhi. Okay, here they are specifically asking about the lead. Okay, so what can it cause? It can also cause the heart and lung diseases, because we have seen in our classes that how both are connected. Yeah. Say, in this case, cardiovascular diseases can be caused, heart diseases can be caused because of this lead which is present. So what is the correct answer? The correct answer is your cardiovascular diseases. Let us look at a very easy question. These ones are the easy questions. This everybody will be able to answer. The green plants are called. What are green plants called? So green plant, what they can do? They can convert the basic, say, carbon dioxide, and in the presence of water, that is your H2O, they will make glucose, C6H12O6 plus what they will release? Oxygen. Yeah, and this happens in the presence of sunlight, due to which pigment? Due to the pigment chlorophyll. Where do you find the chlorophyll? Where do you find it? You will find in the chloroplast. Which is the cell organelle here? Chloroplast is the cell organelle, and chlorophyll is only the pigment and not the cell organelle. Okay, balancing this equation, here is 6, here is 6, 12, 6. So, okay, so this is your green plants as producers. Okay, Coming to the next question. Very simple, but this you should remember because there can be many questions from this, like which is a cell organelle. Okay, so like that they can give many questions. What are the element present in urea? Urea is added for, say, nitrogen and not required for the leguminous plant. This we already know. Okay. Now the question is, what are the elements present in urea? Nitrogen is there, not there in this option, easily removable. It is here, and it is here. Carbon and hydrogen will definitely be there. Will oxygen also be there? Yes. So oxygen, carbon, nitrogen and hydrogen, all of this. If you want beautiful flowers in the flower plants, you can use, more of the artificial ones also, but simply kitchen waste also can be used in the gardens. That is also enough. Which one of the following is a protein fiber and also the strongest among all of this? It is so strong, it is used for parachute ropes that should actually be made with these threads. Okay, it is a protein fiber. Is it nylon? Nylon is nothing but again plastic polyester category, so this too has to be removed. Is cotton protein or is silk protein? If you will know, silkworms, from the silkworms, there is the different phases, cocoon phase, then the worm phase. So there are different phases of the silkworm. And then if we talk about, say, the only silk which is found in, the silk which is found only in Assam, the Muga silk, which is golden-ish color. For that, the worm only has to die. That is why you will not see anybody wearing Muga silk in the temples. Some people will still wear, but otherwise it is not that. One end is like hand-me-down. It goes on for generations. It is that strong. Okay. And then there is the path silk, which is the worm is not killed in that case. So if you will know this information that it comes from the silkworm, then probably it will be easy to identify that is the source of protein. Okay, so silk fiber is a source of protein, and even these worms are also, silkworms are also eaten in some cultures, right, including in the central India region as well, and in some say regions of the northeast as well. Coming to the next question. Scientists of which country have invented a new super powerful electron microscope, Super STEM 3, that can examine objects 1,000,000 times smaller than a human hair? Now see, this is an old invention. So now whatever is there in the current affairs, that can come. So we will see that as well. But before that, answering this old question, STEM 3, still it can be asked by Australia, France, British or USA. What is the correct answer? Okay, it was in the live session. I can see that the session is going, but I can see today less number of people have joined compared to the other days. So, okay, so it was discovered by Britain at that time, and now like there has been many other discoveries, but what is most important in 2025, 26 as well, and until and unless there are some such kind of questions, so till then we have to remember this two at least. Number one is the team 0.5. You can remember Hitachi as well, 1.2. And now, what is very important for you to remember now for the exam purpose is Team 0.5 and Titan Cryos. This has been in the news as well, Titan Cryos. Okay. Now, Team 0.5 Berkeley Lab, a major milestone in aberration correction, and it can do imaging of the individual atoms in 3D. individual atoms imaging can be done in 3D. Titan Cryos. This is also powerful for 3D imaging of large biological molecules like proteins at a high near atomic resolution. How this is possible? By using the cryogenic temperatures, and that is why the name Titan Cryos. Okay. Imagine that imaging of the biological molecules is also possible. Coming to the next one. The major pollutant that may cause damage to prestigious monument Taj Mahal is. So here we have to remember that there are some. Just a moment. I don't know how this was kept, how this happened. Okay, so sorry for this. All right, so we have to remember that there are some oxides of nitrogen and oxides of sulfur. These oxides of nitrogen and sulfur, what happens is that they will mix with the atmosphere, and then that can cause the acid rain. And this acid rain will have other pollutants can also mix, but these are the primary components of the acid rain, and because of which the walls of the Taj Mahal are yellowish at times. And then there has been some work which has been done. Then the Mathura refinery, which was near, there has been some regulations for the industrial pollutants, and the industries nearby also had some regulations. But now if you visit, you will not see any difference as such as of now. Maybe there has been some work which has been done. Okay, so it is SO2 with humidity. But this is also responsible. Okay, but they are asking now that pollutant. So this will not be the correct answer. The pollutant will be the correct answer. Coming to next question, mushrooms and yeast are, what are they? They are lower plants, they are seedless plants, they are fungi, or they are microorganisms. So we have Monera protista, fungi, plantae, algae. Why do we have fungi as a separate category? Why they are not kept in plant? That itself is the reason. So what are mushrooms and yeast? Give the correct answer in the chat box, everyone. Give the answers in the chat box. A, B, C, or D. So mushrooms are nothing but fungi. Okay, so they are not kept in plants or animals, but they are kept separately. That is fungi. Coming to the next question. To which kingdom of life do all bacteria belong? Again, same. Monera protista, fungi, plantae, algae. All bacteria, they will belong to which one? Monera, fungi, plantae, or animalia. So these are not possible. So Monera is the correct answer. All bacteria, they belong to Monera. This we study in classification, the 5 kingdom classification given by R.H. Whittaker. There we study this classifications. Okay, from there this question has been asked. Next question. After pollination and fertilization, which part of the carpel or pistil becomes the fruit? So for this, we need the diagram of the flower, and we have to study that. Hello, Piyush. So for this, we have to study the diagram of the flower and then the different parts of the flower. So for now, we will see the diagram in a while. After pollination and fertilization, which part of the carpel or pistil become the fruit? The fruit is always the ovary. So here, what will become the fruit? Ovary will become the fruit. Okay. Let us have the look. of how these different parts of the flower are actually appearing, and why, if say for example next time if you are seeing a flower, if you can take a hibiscus flower, if you can take a hibiscus flower, you will clearly see them very nicely. Okay. Now, what we see in the outermost part here, number one, this is your petal. These are known as petals. Okay, for that, see in this English medium, we are keeping them in English, both the questions and the language. And then in the Hindi medium, in the Hinglish questions and Hinglish, you will find, okay. But for practice, I think it is good. You can practice with this as well. Anyhow, you will have to do the complete English paper as well, no? Yes or no? Look at the hibiscus flower. Number one, if you see the flower like this, holding the flower, you will see outside red color hibiscus is most common. You will see the petals, okay? Below that, you will see some green, small, little, like petals only, but it is green in color and very small in structure. You observe this, okay? It will be very easy then. These are known as sepals, okay? And then slowly, if you will remove these petals, then you will see there is one big structure like this. Now, looking at this structure, this bottom part, thick and rounded, is known as the ovary. Okay, and that is, if you will see any fruit when it is growing on a tree, you will see that all the parts are gone. This bottom part is there and some fiber like structure is there. This, even if you will take the chilies also, there also even you will find that like this some structure is there. In brinjal, in all the vegetables, you observe, if they are plucked at an early stage, you will see that these fibers are there in the end. You will see them. Okay. So this structure, this ovary, is the one which becomes the fruit later on. Now let us have a look at the other parts as well. This one that you see here, this is the style, and here you have the stigma. This completely is known as the pistil. Okay. Now, looking into these other threads, nearby you will see some more threads, and on top of that you will see some pollen grains or small little grains. If you will touch them, they will be sticky. Okay, you can touch them, they will be sticky. Now, these ones which are in the sides, okay, not the main one. This one is the ovary. This one is ovary. Okay, if you will, and that this one is the stigma. If you will see the side thin, these lines in the flower, if you will observe them, you will see that on top of this there are the pollen grains which are sticky. But what are they known as? This one is known as the stamen. Further, this line is known as the filament, and this is known as the anther. During the flowering times, some people say that they have cough, they have some problem because of this pollen grains. Okay, so this is how the structure works. And if you will see the sperm nuclei, then it is like this here. You see, it is here. And if you will see the pollen grains, then it is sticking like this to the anther. In that region only, those sticky grains will be there. Okay. Now let us move ahead, and this one will come like this. If fertilization has to happen, the pollen grains will fall, or by the bee, the pollination will happen. It will stick like this. Then through the pollen tube, it will go down like this. Then the fertilization will happen here. The egg nucleus is here. The sperm nucleus is there, or in this case for the flower it has become, and then finally it will also become like an embryo in the humans. This happens in the seed in case of the plants. Okay. Coming to the next question, viruses are made up of. What are viruses? Viruses are nothing but proteins. What else? Proteins and lipids, proteins and nucleic acid, lipids and carbohydrates, or carbohydrates and nucleic acid. So if we say DNA, then this is the deoxyribonucleic acid. If we say RNA, that is the ribonucleic acid. So since virus, they will not have their own structure, but whatever cell they will infect, they will replicate in that system itself. Okay, they will hijack somebody else's system and then they will replicate there itself. So they do have the genetic material. They do have the genetic material, okay, along with the protein. So which will be the correct answer? Answer in the chat box. The correct answer is your nucleic acid and protein. They will have the nucleic acid. They will have some kind of a genetic copies they can create, right? And they can grow very fast as well. The end product of photosynthesis. We had seen photosynthesis, CO2 plus H2O in sunlight, and in your, there has to be the pigment, which is your chlorophyll. Okay. What will happen? It will give C6H12O6 plus oxygen. Okay. Now they are asking the end product of photosynthesis. Is it protein, lipid, steroid, or carbohydrates? What is it? This is nothing but, this is your carbohydrates. Ultimately, the breakdown will happen, and in case of the human body or in case of the living organisms, what our body understands as carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, proteins, like that. Okay, just like the computer will understand 0, 1, etc. Next question, when fertilizers as nutrients flow from field into an adjacent pond, okay, there is a field and then there is an adjacent pond. And what has happened to the fertilizer is, from the field, it has say run down to the nearby pond. Now, whatever algae was there in that pond, it will get this fertilizer. Algae will be happy and there will be lots of algae. This is known as the algal bloom. So much so that it will cover the entire pond surface. Now, if the algae has covered the entire pond surface, if there is so much of algae on top of it, this algal bloom will, what are blue-green algae? Blue-green algae are unicellulars, okay? And this, what they will do now is, this algal bloom will take up all the oxygen. Now imagine the life which is there beneath the pond. What will happen to the fish and other life which is there beneath the pond? They will die. Why they will die? Because algae use up all the oxygen. Algae die and decompose and poison the pond. Yes, this can also happen. Fish do not get any nutrients. This also happens. Fish do not get any sunlight. Fish do not need any direct sunlight. But okay, so which is the reason here? Algae will use up all the oxygen. So A is the correct answer. All right. Let us look at the next question. Select the correct statement. Lizards lay eggs, but crocodiles give birth to baby. Crocodiles also give eggs. Okay. They are also nothing but reptiles category only, no? So they are also giving eggs. Birds lay eggs, but bats give birth to babies. Birds lay eggs, yes. Bats give birth to babies. Bats are mammals. Since class 3-4, everybody has studied that bats are mammals and they give birth to babies. Both bats and birds lay eggs. Bats do not lay eggs. Tortoise and crocodiles give birth to young ones. No, both of these, tortoise and crocodiles, again reptiles, and they will give the egg. Okay, so B is the correct answer here. Next question, which one of the following is not obtained from stem? Just before some time we had seen the diagram also. Now from stem, which is not obtained, so only one thing will not be obtained, sun hemp is obtained, jute, the entire stem itself after cutting in the watery region, in the marshy region, it is laid down, and once it starts to achieve a state of, say, just the decomposition has started or just it has absorbed the water, after that it is used. Hemp also, and cotton is from flower. Then there are cotton seeds also in that flower. In the flower there will be some fibers like this, okay, and that is what is used in case of cotton flower, okay. Similarly, they ask you about kesar. Kesar is also from which part of the flower? From the stamen of the flower. Next question, plants which grow in saline soil are. What are the plants which grow in saline soil? That means they like saline soils. They are known as what? Zero means dry, phytes means loving, okay, and phobes means fearing. If I say hydrophytes, that means they are water loving. Okay, if I say hydrophyte plant, that means water loving plant. Okay, xerophyte, they are the ones which will grow in dry region. Say for example, even succulent also to some extent, and then cactus properly for that matter. Hydrophytes, water loving. Halophytes, so halo is used for sun as well, and here in this case they are asking for saline soil, so the best option which we can select is the halophytes. Okay, next one is the fluoride concentration less than prescribed permissible limit may cause. If the fluoride concentration is less than the prescribed permissible limit, what it causes? Dental cavities, spotting in tooth, discoloration, or fluorosis. Please note, fluorosis will be if the concentration is more. Okay, if more concentration is there, then say for example nowadays they are using extra fluoride advertisements also for extra cleaning of the teeth, not required. Now, healthy teeth is more important. More also it can cause fluorosis if the water source itself has more fluorides, and in this case fluoride concentration, if it is less, then it can cause the dental cavities. Okay, look at the next question. The organs of plants that carry out photosynthesis are. Which organ of the plant will carry out photosynthesis? So this will be our last question of the day. Okay, since I can see a less number of students today, that's why. So if you are watching this session later on also, then also no problem, but try to join it live. Okay, in that case we can do a little bit of discussions in the chat box. The organs of plants that carry out photosynthesis are. Which organs of the plants carry out? For all kinds of leaves they will carry out. What if yellow leaf? What if red leaf? Green leaves only. Yes, green leaves definitely, but only. Let us see ahead. Green leaves in plant and stem in cacti. This question has been asked multiple number of times, that if there is a cactus and what appears to be like a leaf, and then there are some thorns, right? So what appears to be like the leaf is actually the stem of the cactus, and what appears to be like the thorn is actually the leaves. Okay, so we don't call them leaves. What we call them? We call them as thorn. Why we are doing this? But this is not leaf. This is the stem. What appears to be like a big fat succulent leaf, that is actually the stem. Okay, why it is doing like that? Because it is very hot in the desert region, in the dry arid region. So transpiration should not happen much. Now, if they will have open flat leaf like this, all the water will go out. So that is why they are maintaining this structure. All right. So I'm leaving you with one question which you try to answer in the comment box. Okay. Try to answer this question in the comment box, and I will know that even if you are watching offline, what will be the correct answer. What sperm is to egg? Okay. Sperm is to egg. what sperm is to egg. Stamen is to carpel. Carpel has no role. Stigma is to ovary. Okay, very near. Pollen is to style, or pollen grain is to ovule. See, two of them anyhow cannot be the answer. Okay, so these are eliminated anyhow. So out of these two, stigma is to ovary or pollen grains is to ovule. What is the bee actually transferring in its feet, or birds transferring, the pollinators, what is being transferred by the pollinators? Okay, so leave the answer of this question in the comment box. I will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. for the chemistry PYQ discussion section. Okay, and from next week we are starting for the tier 2 as well, online classes. Okay, and the live YouTube sessions. So please consider subscribing to the channel. Take care, stay blessed.